What's good, everybody? It's Hamza, and today, guys, I'm coming to you with a brand new video. But before we get into that, guys, please go ahead and leave a like on this video. Let's try and get 2 likes on this video. We do an awesome job at crushing the goal, so let's keep it up. And of course, subscribe if you have not already. I'm going to be doing a giveaway very soon. I'm going to be posting on my Instagram, so please go ahead and check out all the socials down below, all the links as well, guys. But without further ado, let's get right into this video. Alright, guys, now we are getting onto my hand trap video. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with my sword soul one. I did this one as well. I grabbed a wheel. I put basically the most popular hand traps of the current format onto the wheel. I spun the wheel. Whatever I got, I would play around as if my opponent had that. Of course, trying my best to play around it as well. But guys, so you guys can see from here, we got Veiler and Mourner, we got Drone Lockbird, we got Infinite Impermanence, Ash Blossom, and Nibiru. Now, a lot of people are anticipating this upcoming format to have a decent amount of hand traps, just because it's kind of like a monkey format. There's just so many decks available, like a big clown fiesta. So that's why I decided to do this. But again, like I said before, we got Droll, Veiler, Mourner, Imperm, Ash, and Nibiru. So I'm going to go ahead and spin the wheel. Whatever I get, that is the hand trap of choice that we'll be playing around. So it looks like we're gonna get Imperm. No, okay, we're gonna get Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. That's perfect. Ash is absolutely light work. What I'm going to do is, after I get it, I'm going to go ahead and remove it, and then we're going to quickly jump into DB just to showcase what the power of this deck can do. Alright, guys, so now just showcase you guys it, I am going to be going into soul mode real quick just to play around the hand trap. Now again, it doesn't really matter what our hand is because we can play around almost any hand trap. So again, here we have our Ash Blossom. Usually what we do is our opponent's not really going to be ashing this card. We can't assume they won't ash it, just specifically because like they want to hold it for Assault, unless they're afraid that Oge will go ahead and kind of like, you know, disrupt our play in a sense. I guess what I'll do is I'll just flip a coin because it's 50-50. You don't really know what your opponent is. Heads, they're gonna hand trap. Tails, they won't. So heads, they will hand trap, so they end up ashing this. It's perfectly fine because we just special summon out our Renaud, and we go ahead and link our monsters away into our Isolde. Isolde's effect will trigger to go ahead and add us a card to our hand. So Isolde is probably gonna add us our Astolfo. I just had to make sure that I was still recording. And then because we have Oge in the graveyard, I'm sure you guys know the combos from here. We go ahead and activate this, send this to the graveyard to summon out our Richardetto. Richardetto's effect will trigger to go ahead and reborn our Oge, and then synchro these monsters away into our Angelica. Angelica effect, go ahead and trigger. It's like clockwork for me, honestly, at this point. This will go ahead and trigger to get our Museum, which is pretty nasty. And then from here, what we can do is we can go ahead and activate our Divine Sword to banish this and this. Then Divine Sword will go ahead and get this to our hand. Cool. Then we'll go ahead and activate Divine Sword, and then we will trigger Angelica to go ahead and banish, and this will go ahead and send our Turpin, which is really nice. And then this will go ahead and summon out our Roland. Okay, and then we can do here is we can essentially activate our Noble Arms Museum, not use this effect, of course, and then we can use Oge's effect onto here, special summon out Turpin that way, which is pretty good. So I think we can do that, right? Special normal activate. I'm just thinking if I can do a little bit juicy, but yeah, okay, so we'll do that, and then we'll declare to special summon out Turpin. And then Turpin gets banished because he was there. These two leave as well. This goes into our Charles. Perfect. What we can do here is we can declare Charles to go ahead and go here, and then this will go ahead and send our monsters away into our Link Charles, which is nice. He'll trigger to go ahead and add Charles or equip Charles. Make sure you guys don't forget that, of course. Then from here we can go ahead and activate this Durandal. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and activate this to go ahead and grab our Durandal to our hand because for some reason we haven't used this yet. So activate Durandal's effect to go ahead. So again, we pay 1200, which is perfectly fine. We go ahead and use this. Durandal will go ahead and add us our Oliver to our hand because again, like I said before, I love to add the fire. From here, what we can do is we can go ahead and activate Oliver, discard. Okay, so we're gonna special summon out our Gearfried by banishing this. Cool. And then from here, what we can do is we can go ahead and declare the second effect to move this card onto here. And then because you only had one museum, we can't really push for more. So here we have multiple choices. So one of the choices we can do is actually, I'll just do the other choice because I personally like this play better. So this will go ahead and go into Oliver, and then we go ahead and synchro these two away into our Baron. I actually like this version of the play a lot better than Double Swan Trap because like an Omni's better. And then from here we can go ahead and use Oliver. If it's up to me, I would like to use Oliver to equip onto. I think equipping onto Baron's pretty good, like non-targetable Baron. And then we can go ahead and use Divine Sword. Divine Sword will go ahead and banish our Charles and our other dude to go ahead and get this to our hand. And then we can Divine Sword onto our Gearfried, so now we still have a negate on that as well. And then proceeding into end phase, no, No, so we can't do that. So the reason why we can't do that is because we have to equip from our graveyard a spell card. So we're not going to do that. What we're instead going to do is just proceed to end phase. End phase will go ahead and trigger Charles. So Charles will equip Divine Sword. It is a little awkward, but it's perfectly fine. Honestly, I don't mind it. Charles will equip Divine Sword, and we will equip Maugus like this. And then we will go ahead and trigger Charles to pop Maugus. Then Maugus's effect in graveyard will trigger to go ahead and shuffle back our Turpin to our hand. Our Richardetto, not our hand, sorry. And I think what I want to do is I want to put back the... a shuffle in graveyard is fine. We're gonna go ahead and put back the Renaud as well. So shuffle up, and then draw one. So we end up drawing infinite impermanence. It does suck because like I wish imperm was like a card I could have set, but it doesn't matter. So basically during our opponent's turn through an Ash Blossom, we ended on Gearfree, which is monster negate, a spell and trap negate, which is Charles, a non negate, which is this guy, plus a pop as well. So and our opponent hand looped themselves for 4 cards. So it's pretty nasty. So that was it for like the first, I guess you could say, like combo tutorial or like method to play around Ash Blossom. Alright guys, so now we are back onto the wheel like I said before. So now I removed the Ash Blossom because like Ash only does so much to the deck. Now we got Veiler, Mourner, we got Drone Locker, we got Imperm, and we got Nibiru. The reason I say Veiler Mourner is different than Infinite Impermanence is because Veiler is like a monster hand trap and Imperm is not. So I don't know, there just aren't a lot of like optimal hand traps to play in this current format, but we'll go ahead and do this. This will go ahead and spin, so it looks like we're getting Nibiru. Now I'm sure a lot of people wanted to see Nibiru, so this is very important for this regard. So we hit Nibiru, the primal being, we're gonna go ahead and remove Nibiru, and what we're going to do is we're going to quickly jump ahead into Dueling Book. Alright guys, so now we are into Dueling Book. So what we are going to do here is we are going to go ahead and proceed into comboing through the Nibiru, around the Nibiru, things of that nature. So again, our hand is going to be Ogier, Renaud, Gearfree, Heritage of Chalice, and Turpin. Now again, just know one thing, right? You're probably looking at this hand and you're like, oh my god, he drew the Gearfree, right? It doesn't matter. This is a 3 of, this is a 3 of, this is a 3 of. We have 3 museum as well, so like it doesn't really matter what our hand is, honestly. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and activate the Chalice. Chalice will go ahead and add us museum to our hand. It's pretty crazy, honestly, because this card says I want noble arms. What is it? I have a noble arms card from your deck to your great or deck, whatever. This is noble arms. So yeah, so from here we go ahead and get that, and then from here what we can do is we can go ahead and proceed into activating Ogier. Ogier's effect will go ahead and trigger to go ahead and dump. So what we are going to do is we're just going to dump the card we're missing. So this will dump our Oliver. Cool. From here we can go ahead and special out Renaud. Renaud, go ahead and get Oliver into our hand, and then from here what we can do is we can go ahead and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to synchro summon. I'm going to synchro summon into our Angelica. Cool. We're going to use Angelica's effect here. Angelica's going to go ahead and add a second museum. And then from here what we can do is we can go ahead and fire off museum, declare museum. Museum will go ahead and add us, doesn't matter. I think adding Almace is the best in my opinion. We'll add the Almace. Cool. So from here, you guys can see we paid 1200 and this is only our 3rd summon. So we will go ahead and get the Almace, and we will go ahead and declare to go ahead and get this here, then use this to go ahead and move. And then here what we can do is we can go ahead and Almace onto our guy here, then declare Almace, send Almace. This will go ahead and get our, doesn't matter if we go Joyas or Durandal, doesn't matter, we'll just get Durandal here. Cool. And then from here and then from here we can go ahead and special summon our Gearfree by banishing. Cool. And then we can go ahead and activate the second museum. Let me go ahead and get this museum to my hand. We can get the second museum. This museum will go and activate museum effect to trigger. Okay, I don't know why I keep sending this card to the graveyard. So we will draw the museum and we will activate the museum. Cool. Then this will go ahead and activate, so it'll pay 1200 more, and then this will go ahead and grab us any equip spell. I just like adding Joyas just because like worst case scenario I can keep playing. Then we activate the Joyas here. Cool. And then we can go ahead and fire off the Durandal because we have not used Durandal yet. Durandal will go ahead and grab us another extender. So this is going to grab us our Astolfo to our hand. Then here what we can do is we can go ahead and link our monsters away into the Isolde. So again, jumping through a lot of hoops, but we were still able to end up on the Gearfree plus whatever. So this will go ahead and activate. We'll send this. We'll go ahead and special summon our Richardetto. Richardetto's effect will trigger to go ahead and summon out the Ogier. Now this one is important. You're supposed to play 2 Angelica, specifically for this instance here where you want to play around Handtraps. So again, we can use the Divine Sword here to banish these 2 cards, which we already used. So note, this is not the Angelica that will come back. To go ahead here, we will activate this guy here, declare her effect banish right here. This goes to the graveyard, summon up the Roland, and then Angelica will go ahead and dump. Honestly, it genuinely doesn't really matter what we dump here personally. What I want to do is I'm probably just gonna dump like I'm probably just gonna dump a Maugus to the graveyard because we can actually use this. So we'll dump the Maugus here. Perfect. And then because we have a monster equipped in the coastal, we can special summon out this guy, so we only use the first effect. This will go ahead and synchro away into our Charles like so. And then from here we can go ahead and we have like a multitude plays of to do. So what I like to do is for here, because I haven't used the second effect, I'm going to actually go ahead and banish those two to get Divine Sword back. The reason for that is it just makes the Malgus shuffle back a lot better. So here we go ahead and do this. Then we send these guys away into our Charles. Make sure you use Charles' effect to go ahead and equip onto the spell and trap card zone. And then we can go ahead and use Museum's second effect to go ahead and move the Charles away like this. Perfect. And then from here what we can do is we can go ahead and proceed to actually playing the game. Technically, so we can do this. Do I want the Baron or do I want the I'd rather the thing. So declare this, go ahead and send this to the graveyard, special summon out this. And then we go ahead and get rid of these cards away into our Baron. And then affect Amalgus to shuffle, so that's why I decided to do this. So this will go to top deck, and to the top of the deck. Shuffle up and then draw one. Okay, so we draw one. Let's just assume our opponent, like at this point, is like, okay, Nib. So of course, gear free, send this card to the graveyard to negate. We still have like all sorts of plays here. So again, Divine Sword is going to go ahead and banish our Charles, and we can go ahead and banish our Malgus because we already used this to get Divine Sword to our hand. And then what I do is I like to equip Divine Sword onto our gear feed here. So this will go ahead here. So now we have a negate. We can go ahead and use Charles's effect or Oliver's effect to go ahead and equip onto here. And then what we can do is we can go ahead and proceed into the end phase. End phase will trigger. We can go ahead and use this. This will go ahead and grab us our Durandal. And then from here, this will go ahead and proceed to equip directly from our deck. So we can go ahead and equip our Ogier. So again, through Nibiru, we still ended up on literally Spell and Trap negate, Baron, Omni negate, and the Monster negate. We have a Gearfried here who has the Monster negate. We have a Baron who can't be targeted, and we have a Spell and Trap negate who cannot be destroyed by card effects. So that was it for the Nibiru combo. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hit reset as well, just to showcase that I can back-to-back play around Nibiru or play through Nibiru, depending on kind of like what we draw and things of that nature. So from here, we will go ahead and shuffle into our hand. So from here, you can see we still have the plays, which is pretty nice. So what I'll do here is I'll activate Heritage. Heritage will go ahead and get us our Ogier to our hand. Cool. Then we activate Museum effect to go ahead and add Durandal to our hand. And then from here, what we can do is, let me enter the main phase. We can go ahead and normal summon Ogier. Ogier's effect will go ahead and dump. So this will send our Gearfried. Sorry, I'm skipping a step. This is supposed to be in the graveyard. This will go into the graveyard, activate Durandal. Durandal's effect will trigger to go ahead and get our Renaud to our hand, like so. And then because we activate the first one, always make sure that you know that you're paying 1200 because that's like you're literally cheating if you're not. This will go ahead and add us our Gearfried to our hand, which is pretty cool. Then from here we can go ahead and synchro our monsters away into our Angelica. So one thing to note is if you don't if you hard lose to like a hand trap on a sold or like later on, it's always better to just make the Angelica and just play through other cards. So Angelica will trigger here, go ahead and add us our Museum to our hand. And then from here what we can do is we can go ahead and activate Ogier, Dispel and Trap card zone, and then go ahead and use Ogier special summon. And now this is using the second effect right here, so it's always important to note that. Now we'll activate the second Museum. So what we can do here is I like to, because special activate almost, yeah, so we'll do this. We'll pay 1200. This will go ahead and add us our Almace. Obviously ignore my life points because like this is carrying over for the last one as well. Otherwise it would be like plus 48, I think, right? Because I just paid for it twice. So it'll be 48 and then it'll be minus 24. So I don't know why I just didn't do plus 24, but it's fine. From here we go ahead and activate the Almace. Note it's important to equip the Almace here. Special summon out the gear by banishing, and then we can use Almace. Almace will go ahead and run away, and then Almace will go ahead and equip. So this will go ahead and equip onto our Joyas. Like I said, for Joyas is the biggest throwaway hand trap that we can do, so you want to do that. Note that we already used one of this. This will go into the Assault. Assault effect will trigger to go ahead and add us any card. Like I said before, because I know that I can play around hand traps, I'll add a Astolfo. Usually you want to add like a connector or something, but because I have Oliver Astolfo, like my hand's pretty juicy. And then we will use Assault. Assault will mill 1 to the graveyard, and then this will summon out our Richardetto. Richardetto's effect will go ahead and trigger to summon out the Ogier. Then here we can synchro, and I'm sure you guys know what's about to happen. Like this is crazy. We go into the Angelica from here. And then what we did is we can go ahead and use Angelica's effect because we have not searched, I don't believe, into the Angelica. No, we have searched, yep. So we won't use the Angelica's effect here. What we will do is we'll go ahead and use Divine Sword. So banish, and then this will get Divine Sword to our hand. And then from here we can go ahead and activate the Divine Sword. So I'm sure you guys know what's about to happen now. If you guys don't know my combos, check the combos out. I'm about to put them somewhere like on a card here or all the way up there or something. But this will go ahead and trigger to run away. This will go ahead and send our Turpin to the graveyard. And then from here this will summon out our Roland from here. And then like I said before, because you have a monster you equip, yada yada yada, you know the deal. Go into this will go ahead and send to the graveyard, and this will go ahead and banish. Again, our opponent can nib us at any point here. We have the protection, right? So it doesn't really matter. So from here we can go ahead and synchro away into our Charles, the dude. right here. Cool. Then we can use Roland. Roland will go ahead and go to spawn trap card zone, and then we will send these guys to the graveyard to go ahead into Charles. Charles will trigger to go ahead and go and spawn trap card zone, and then we will use museum secondary effect here to go ahead and move here. Cool. From here, again, we have multiple plays to do. What I like to do personally, so let's just assume our opponent nibs us here, right? So we have to use this to send this card to the graveyard because like they still want to burn and negate no matter what. Cool. From here, what we can do is we can go ahead and use Divine Sword. Divine Sword banish Oge and Richardetto to get Divine Sword to our hand. This is pretty nice because what we can do here is we can go ahead and equip the Divine Sword onto the Gearfried, and we can use Oliver to send Astolfo to the graveyard, especially not Oliver. Then here we can go this and this way into our Baron de Fleur, which is cool. And then one thing to note as well is, and this is really important, right? Roland needs to spawn trap card zone, so you always have to note that. But Oliver is going to be getting 2 spawn trap card zones as well. So when you're trying to build like your big like Megazord type of monster, you have to just pay attention to that. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna Oliver onto the Baron because like an untargetable Baron is pretty nasty. And then we can go ahead and set 1 imperm. I'm just gonna set 1 imperm specifically because when we do boom boom we have to, so we need 2 spots as well. So again, we will proceed to the end phase here. End phase will go ahead and equip the All Mace because All Mace is like the best to play around. And then this will go ahead and equip our Malgus. Now note that you can choose whatever you want, just specifically for the combo because like we got nibbed, I'm gonna assume like whatever. This will go ahead and pop, Malgus will go ahead and trigger, Malgus will go ahead and shuffle. So this is gonna be 2 top, 2 top. And I think what we can do is we can go ahead and put the yeah, we'll just put like the Durandal banish or something to the top of the deck. Put this, and we will shuffle up and then draw. And of course Angelica comes back. I'm pretty sure I didn't do that the last time, but yeah, Angelica's supposed to come back here. So again, through Nibiru, I literally did it again. I got nibbed twice, both duels, and I literally ended on the same board with nib protection. And of course, don't act like, oh, because you drew this and drew this. All my cards are 3-ofs in my deck. So that's the reason why I can play around hand traps and things of that nature. So that was it for like the Nibiru combo. Alright guys, so now we are getting on to the third and final like test hand, I guess you could say. So we have Veiler, Mourner, we have Drolls, and we have Imperms. Now these are like also problematic cards that the deck has to deal with. So we're going to go ahead and spin just to show you can get, again, it does not matter. It doesn't even matter what we get. So again, we're going to get Veiler and Mourner and Imperm and things of that nature. So we will play around that and such. So again, let me go ahead and remove Mourner and Imperm, and we will jump into Dueling Book. Alright guys, so now we're going to get on to the third and final test hand, or combo tutorial, whatever you guys want to say. It's to play around hand traps. This is when they have Effect Veiler or Mourner. Again, I will change it like depending on what I get, but I mean like look at this hand. This hand's crazy. So from here, what we can do is we can go ahead and normal summon Fireflint Lady, activate Durandal to get Ogier. Yeah, so that's what we'll do. We'll go normal summon Fireflint Lady, activate Durandal effect to go ahead and add Ogier to our hand, like this. Cool, perfect. And then we can go ahead and special Renaud go into that, and we lose. So we will use this special out into our Ogier, declare Ogier here. Ogier's effect will go ahead and trigger, and again they can't imperm us because Ogier summoned off Fireflint Lady who can't be targeted. So this will go ahead and dump our Gearfried. Now most of the combos you're literally bending backwards to try and summon out your Gearfried, which is like, why would you not want to do that, right? So this will go ahead into Gearfried here, and then we can do is we can go ahead and special summon out Gearfried by banishing out our Durandal like so, and we equip All Mace onto Gearfried, and literally just like that we win the game. Just think about that. We literally win the game. And the reason for that is I summon Isolde here, right? Like, what are you going to do? Are you going to effect it on my Isolde on summon? If you have Mourner, you lose the game because I literally just keep on playing. But for the sake of the video, we will do Effect Veiler. Nobody Veilers the first effect unless you want to. Like, you can Veiler my, I'll let you. But this will go ahead and add, and we will go ahead and use this to go ahead and mill to send the Divine Sword. So again, like, I'm sure you guys know what's about to happen. Like, I'm just gonna combo just for the sake of the combo, just for the sake of the video, so you guys can get your comments down below, things of that nature. We will go ahead and do this, go into Angelica's effect will trigger. Again, let's just assume our opponent like Veilers us on the Assault. We just, you know what I mean? So let's just go ahead and get us our whatever it's called, Museum. And then here we can go ahead and activate Museum, blah blah blah, whatever. We go Divine Sword, so banish these two. Thank you, Fireflint Lady, you did a great job. Get this card to my hand. Then here we can go ahead and activate this. Yeah, we get Angelica. Angelica's gonna run away. Angelica, go ahead and dump Turpin. Again, we don't have Turpin, so let's get Turpin. Go ahead into our Roland right here. And then from here we go ahead and use special summon. I haven't used Ogier, so go ahead and use Ogier equip onto our Gearfried. Use Turpin because we haven't. So this will go into Turpin here, like so. Have I used this Museum effect? I don't think I have, right? Declared. Museum. No, I haven't even used this Museum effect. That's actually crazy. So from here, what we can do is we can go ahead and synchro away. This card will get banished. This will go into our Charles, like so. Okay, and then what we can do is you can go roll into effect, equip onto Charles, get rid of Charles away, go into our link Charles effect to go ahead and get this here. We will fire off this now. We've used Durandal, we've used All Mace, so this will go ahead and get us our Joyas to our hand. Again, the equip spell doesn't matter, trust me. So we're just doing that to do this. Here, this will go ahead and declare to move this guy here, equip the Joyas onto this guy here, and then go ahead and send these away. Go into our other guy. I think Joyas can summon from hand, but I can't summon from hand because of that. So this will go ahead and trigger. This will go ahead and get our Charles onto the board. And then from here, we basically proceed to the end phase. I don't know if I should proceed to the end phase. Yeah, we'll go ahead and proceed to the end phase now. Yeah, so this will go into end phase. We'll just use this Charles just for the sake of it. This will go ahead and get our All Mace. And then this will go ahead and trigger to go ahead and equip. So again, always equip the Malgus for the sake of test hands. Depending on what you play against, you can equip like Oliver and things of that nature. But again, this will trigger, pop Malgus. Malgus will trigger to go ahead and go into 1, 2, and I'm going to shuffle back Richard into my graveyard. 3. Cool. And then shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. And then draw 1. And then cool, we draw an Imperm. Again, I keep drawing the Imperm off of the end phase, so maybe I'm going to play Effect Dealer, like who knows. But again, through the hand traps, we ended on double spell and trap negate, plus a monster, plus a pop, plus the Ash Blossom. We have the Imperm as well. So like, I don't know what you guys want from me. Like, I literally can show you the consistency of this deck so many times. We play so many 3-ofs, so many ways to get to gear free, play around hand traps, and things of that nature. So guys, that was it for the video. If you guys liked the video, please go ahead and leave a like. I'd really appreciate that. And of course, subscribe if you made it to the end of my video and you are not yet subscribed, because what are you doing? But without further ado, guys, my name's Hamza, and like I always say, keep on shining, never go on your dreams. Peace.